Sister wives. Kody kicked Robyn and her children out because he couldn't marry Aurora. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia, and I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Few events in Sister Wives history have shaken fans as much as the story of Kody Brown allegedly expelling Robyn and her children from their shared home. While viewers are accustomed to the complex dynamics of polygamy, this scenario suggested a deeply personal and disturbing motive: Kody's frustration over his inability to marry Aurora, Robyn's eldest daughter. For years, Kody has been portrayed as the patriarch attempting to balance multiple marriages, keeping harmony among his wives while managing a sprawling household. His decisions often drew criticism from the audience, yet he retained a certain aura of authority and control. The idea that he could turn against Robyn, his seemingly favored wife, and her children shocked even the most seasoned fans. Speculation about Aurora's involvement began quietly. Sources close to the family hinted that Kody had developed an unusual attachment to her, which created tension between him and Robyn. Whether rooted in desire, jealousy, or emotional frustration, the consequences reportedly led to Robyn being forced out. Social media exploded with reactions. Twitter and fan forums lit up with disbelief as viewers struggled to reconcile the beloved family dynamic with this alarming twist. Many expressed sympathy for Robyn, emphasizing her role as both a wife and mother and the unfairness of placing her in such a vulnerable position. The rumor also sparked broader questions about the integrity of the Brown family system. How could a household built on trust, consent, and communication fracture in such a dramatic way? This chapter explores the ripple effects, beginning with Kody's own internal struggles. Kody Brown, patriarch in crisis. Over the years, Kody has been a complicated figure. On the surface, he is a leader and a caretaker, but beneath that veneer lies a man increasingly consumed by frustration and unfulfilled desires. Christine's departure, Janelle's distance, and Mary's ongoing resentment have left him with Robyn as his last consistent partner. Robyn, however, was no passive participant in the household. Her influence, both in managing family logistics and shaping Kody's emotional world, gave her a unique position. Some fans have speculated that this influence became a source of tension, especially when Kody's attention shifted toward Aurora. Kody's inability to pursue Aurora as a marital partner, for reasons likely rooted in legality and family boundaries, reportedly triggered intense frustration. According to insiders, this frustration manifested as anger toward Robyn, who he blamed for blocking a relationship he could not have. The ramifications of such behavior are profound. By allegedly evicting Robyn and her children, Kody not only destabilized the household, but also undermined the trust that holds polygamous families together. Scholars and viewers alike have debated the psychological impact of his actions on his wives and children, highlighting themes of control, favoritism, and emotional volatility. Fans have noted a pattern in Kody's decision-making, choosing impulsive reactions over open communication. While polygamy requires constant negotiation and compromise, the alleged eviction represents a failure to maintain these foundational principles. Aurora. In the eye of the storm. Aurora, the eldest daughter of Robyn, was never meant to be a central figure on Sister Wives. Known for her quiet presence and reserved demeanor, she has largely stayed behind the scenes. Yet, the rumors placed her squarely at the center of the drama, turning her into a symbol of innocence caught in adult conflicts. The allegation that Kody desired to marry Aurora was not only shocking, it was morally contentious. Fans and critics alike question the plausibility and the implications of such an attachment. Social media forums debated whether Kody's interest was merely a projection of frustration or a deeper emotional fixation. Aurora's sudden prominence also sparked conversations about the responsibilities of parents and guardians within polygamous households. If true, Kody's alleged actions represent a breach of familial trust, as a patriarch is meant to protect his wives and their children, not compromise their safety or stability. Her role as a focal point in the conflict also highlights the intersection of power, morality, and family boundaries. Aurora became a symbol of the limits that should exist within any household, especially one as complex as the Browns. Whispers around Flagstaff began when fans noticed a sudden shift in Kody Brown's tone during season 19. Viewers long knew that Kody favored Robyn and her children above all others, but the rumors of him planning to seal the family's legacy with something much more controversial sent shockwaves. Kody allegedly approached Robyn with a bizarre idea. He wanted to formally bind the family together by proposing a spiritual marriage to Aurora, Robyn's eldest daughter. In Kody's mind, this was not about romance but about continuing the Brown covenant. However, many inside sources described it as nothing short of disturbing, saying it blurred the lines of family roles and propriety. When Robyn refused, tensions exploded. Kody accused her of not supporting his vision, while Robyn, horrified, begged him to wake up and realize how insane it sounded. TLC insiders whispered that producers were equally shocked, fearing the scandal would destroy the network's reputation if it ever aired unedited. For the first time, Robyn openly cried not about Christine or Janelle leaving, but about the man she once called her soulmate turning into something she didn't recognize. One cold Arizona evening, Kody returned home in a fury. Witnesses later said he looked wild-eyed and desperate. Robyn had drawn a clear line. Aurora was her daughter, not his future bride. That rejection shattered Kody's ego. The argument escalated quickly. Cameras weren't rolling that night, but neighbors claimed they could hear shouting from outside. Robyn reportedly screamed, "You're destroying this family with your obsession." Kody's response was chilling. He told her that if she wouldn't let him carry out his so-called spiritual mission, then she and her children no longer had a place under his roof. Within hours, Robyn and her kids, Aurora, Dayton, Brianna, Solomon, and Ariella, were forced to pack bags. The next morning, TLC producers arrived to film a regular segment only to find Robyn's side of the house empty. The Brown home looked deserted on her end, with toys scattered across the yard as if the children had been pulled out suddenly. Fans didn't see those raw moments on television, but whispers of them spread quickly across fan groups and Reddit forums. To outsiders, it was no longer just a messy plural marriage. It had become a twisted family implosion. Robyn's desperation and public breakdown. After being kicked out, Robyn reportedly stayed in a modest rental home with her 5 children. For the first time since joining the family, she wasn't the queen wife. Instead, she was a woman abandoned, rejected, and publicly humiliated by the very man she defended for over a decade. In a leaked behind-the-scenes clip, Robyn sobbed. "He built me up as his last chance, his true love. And now he's thrown us away like garbage because of Aurora? How do I even explain that to my kids?" Aurora herself was deeply shaken. Friends of the family said she felt immense guilt, believing she was the reason her siblings were uprooted. Robyn, however, fiercely protected her daughter, making it clear Aurora was not to blame. Meanwhile, Kody doubled down. He told close friends that Robyn failed the covenant and that he had no choice but to remove her from his life. His children from other wives, already estranged, saw this as further proof that Kody had lost touch with reality. The once tightly controlled sister-wives narrative began to unravel. Robyn, the wife fans once accused of manipulation, suddenly became the victim of Kody's obsession, pride, and desperation. When Christine, Janelle, and Mary learned about what had happened, their reactions were a mix of shock and grim satisfaction. Christine was reportedly the first to speak out privately. She told a close friend, "This is what happens when you build everything around Kody's ego. He always needed control, and now even Robyn sees it." Janelle, though heartbroken for the children, admitted she wasn't surprised. She had long warned Robyn that enabling Kody's every whim would end in disaster. Mary, in her typical icy tone, allegedly said, "He always chooses chaos over love." For years, fans accused Robyn of being the manipulator who pushed the other wives aside. But now, those same ex-wives were watching her endure the same rejection and cruelty. Ironically, the woman who once held Kody's heart now found herself exiled and broken, just like them. The sister wives fandom erupted online. Some sympathized with Robyn, while others called it karma. Either way, the Browns were splintering further than anyone thought possible. TLC's dilemma: ratings versus reputation. Inside TLC's headquarters, panic brewed. The network had built sister wives around themes of family unity, plural love, and resilience. But this scandal crossed into dangerous territory. Producers debated whether to air the footage of Kody's outburst and Robyn's removal. On one hand, the drama promised record-breaking ratings. On the other, it risked accusations of exploiting a family crisis with disturbing undertones. An insider claimed executives were split. Some believed the scandal would save the franchise by giving it a shocking new angle. Others feared it would destroy the show entirely by making it unwatchable and morally indefensible. Behind the scenes, TLC allegedly reached out to Robyn, offering her private interviews and a chance to set the record straight. Kody, meanwhile, was furious. He reportedly demanded editing rights, claiming the footage made him look like a villain. The irony, of course, was that Kody didn't need editing to look like a villain. His actions spoke for themselves. Robyn finds an unexpected ally. In the middle of her breakdown, Robyn found herself reaching out to someone she once considered an enemy, Kody Brown. The two women's relationship had been tense for years, filled with jealousy and mistrust. But now, with Robyn and her kids living in a rental and Kody refusing to see them, she swallowed her pride and dialed Kody's number. According to insiders, the call was emotional. Robyn reportedly said through tears, "I understand now. Everything you said about him. I didn't believe it, but I see it now." Kody, though cautious, listened. She comforted Robyn but also reminded her that escaping Kody wasn't a tragedy, it was a blessing. David Woolley, Kody's husband, even stepped in with kind words, offering support to Robyn's kids. For the first time in over a decade, the rival wives shared a fragile connection. Robyn was no longer the favored queen. She was a woman scarred, abandoned, and for once, humanized in the eyes of viewers. Kody Brown had always been defensive in interviews, but this time his behavior spiraled into something darker. After news leaked that Robyn and her children had been forced out, Kody reportedly stormed into a local Flagstaff diner where he knew paparazzi were waiting. Instead of keeping quiet, Kody delivered a rambling, unhinged speech to anyone who would listen. He insisted the rumors were taken out of context, claiming he had merely wanted to preserve the spiritual lineage of the Brown family. He ranted about being the only true patriarch left, accusing Robyn of betrayal and even suggesting TLC was editing his legacy into a nightmare. Witnesses described his demeanor as frantic, with one customer saying, "It was like watching a man unravel in real time." Clips of his meltdown quickly went viral. Memes circulated, calling him the polygamist gone wild, and late-night hosts even mocked his obsession with control. Instead of regaining sympathy, Kody had become a national punchline. The children take a stand. While Kody lashed out publicly, his children were privately uniting against him. For years, many of them had grown distant due to his favoritism toward Robyn's kids. But now, the tables had turned. Gabe and Janelle Brown were among the first to speak online. Janelle posted a cryptic but sharp message. When power becomes more important than people, families break. And some people still don't get it. Aurora, deeply shaken by the scandal, reportedly refused to see Kody at all. Dayton, who had long defended his stepfather, quietly moved his belongings out of the Brown home, signaling he too had reached a breaking point. Even Solomon and Ariella, still young, were said to be asking painful questions. Why doesn't Daddy want us anymore? Robyn struggled to answer, her once unshakable loyalty to Kody completely shattered. For the first time in years, the children, both from the original wives and Robyn's household, were standing on common ground. They were united in their disappointment with Kody. Headlines, backlash, and the Aurora scandal. By this point, the story had broken out of the TLC bubble and hit mainstream media. Tabloids labeled it the Aurora scandal. Entertainment Tonight ran with the headline, "Sister Wives Chaos, Kody's shocking rift with Robyn and kids." TMZ published claims from insiders about the bizarre marriage proposal to Aurora, sparking outrage online. Parenting groups and advocacy organizations condemned the very idea, calling it emotional abuse wrapped in religious excuses. Kody, furious at being portrayed as a monster, went on Facebook Live to clear the air. Instead, he only made things worse. He claimed society didn't understand spiritual unions and that people were mocking God's plan. Viewers flooded the comments with disbelief, calling him delusional and dangerous. Meanwhile, Robyn began receiving unexpected sympathy. Once despised as the homewrecker, she was now painted as the woman who finally stood up to Kody when things crossed a line too far. What was once just another chapter in Sister Wives had become a full-blown cultural controversy, one that threatened to end the show for good. Inside TLC's headquarters, the atmosphere was electric with panic. Executives huddled in emergency meetings, debating whether to pull the plug on Sister Wives or lean into the chaos for blockbuster ratings. One camp argued the scandal was unfilmable and risked permanent damage to the network's reputation. Another camp insisted that this was the defining moment of the franchise, a scandal so jaw-dropping that viewers would never look away. Producers reportedly drafted 2 separate scripts. A soft edit version where Kody's behavior was downplayed and Robyn's exit was portrayed as temporary. A hard edit version that exposed everything: the Aurora proposal, the screaming fight, and Robyn's tearful breakdown. Ultimately, TLC chose a middle path, but behind the scenes, they also reached out to their ace in the hole, tell-all host Sukanya Krishnan. They knew the only way to salvage credibility was to stage the most explosive reunion special in reality TV history. Sukanya sharpens her questions. Sukanya Krishnan had long been criticized by fans for being too gentle with Kody, often letting him twist narratives and dodge accountability. But this time, things would be different. An insider revealed that Sukanya came into the tell-all taping with a binder full of receipts, Reddit rumors, tabloid articles, and even leaked transcripts from production assistants who witnessed the blow-up. Her opening words to Kody reportedly cut straight to the bone. "Kody, did you or did you not suggest a spiritual marriage to Aurora, and did that cause Robyn and her children to leave your home?" For once, Kody didn't have a smooth answer. He sputtered, deflected, and turned red with anger. Robyn, sitting across from him, broke down in tears while Christine, Janelle, and Mary silently watched, their faces a mixture of vindication and sorrow. Sukanya pressed harder than ever before, refusing to let Kody filibuster. It was clear this tell-all wasn't going to be the usual controlled PR stunt. This was a reckoning. Robyn at the crossroads. As the tell-all unfolded, Robyn found herself in the most vulnerable position of her life. For over a decade, she had been Kody's favorite, the wife who seemed untouchable. But now, stripped of his protection and forced into the spotlight, she was cornered. In a tearful monologue, Robyn admitted, "I believed in him. I defended him. And now, I see I was defending a man who doesn't exist anymore. My kids deserve better than this." Fans watching from home described the moment as surreal. The woman once seen as the villain of Sister Wives was finally acknowledging what Christine, Janelle, and Mary had been saying for years. But Robyn wasn't just crying. She was making a choice. By the end of taping, insiders claimed she privately told producers she was ready to separate permanently from Kody. For the first time, Robyn was considering a future without him. And if Robyn left, it wouldn't just end Kody's polygamous dream, it would erase the last remnants of his so-called kingdom. Inside TLC's headquarters, the atmosphere was electric. Kody found himself increasingly alone. Executives huddled in emergency meetings. Robyn was gone with debating her children, whether to pull the plug on Sister Wives or lean into the chaos with David Woolley for blockbuster Janelle ratings. Was enjoying financial independence argued the scandal was unfilmable, and Mary had launched new ventures outside to the network's reputation. But instead another of camp insisted that Kody was the defining moment of the franchise. Claimed he stopped grooming himself, so jaw-dropping that viewers would never look away, and muttering about betrayals. Producers reportedly drafted even described him as a ghost of the man who first moved here. Version where Kody's attempts to reach out to Aurora and Robyn's exit was portrayed as temporary. He sent long texts claiming she was part of God's bigger plan, exposed everything. But Aurora reportedly blocked his number. The screaming fight, Solomon and Robyn's tearful youngest rarely saw him. Social media fans began using the hashtag they also reached out to their mocking the man who once demanded loyalty, but now had no one left to control. The only way to salvage credibility was to stage the most explosive reunion special in reality TV history, tangled in jealousy and old resentments. But Kody's collapse had long been criticized by fans for being in a surprising gentle with Kody. The three women letting him to appear together on a special TLC panel, but this time, not to bash Kody, things would be different. But to support Robyn, an insider revealed that Sakanya came into the tell-all taping with a binder full of receipts. Bluntly, Reddit rumors, fought with tabloid articles. We all thought she was against transcripts from production assistants. But the truth is, Kody was the problem all along. Her opening words she knows what we went reportedly cut straight to the bone. Pragmatic Kody, as ever. Did you or did you not bigger than just spiritual marriage and ex-wives? And did that cause Robyn and her children to leave your home? And if that means helping Robyn, Kody didn't have a smooth answer. Even after everything, he sputtered. Then that's what we'll do. And turned red with usually anger. Distant, Robyn, sitting across from him, broke down in tears. Were not rivals, but allies bound together by shared scars. Their faces were stir of vindication, sister-wives sisterhood. Sakanya pressed harder than ever before, to heal, refusing to let Kody filibuster, but around each other. It was clear this tell-all wasn't going to be the usual controlled while the scandal weighed heavily on Robyn. Her children at the crossroads started to rebuild. As the tell-all unfolded, Aurora entered therapy. Robyn found herself working through the guilt she carried for being at the center of for over a decade. She had been told Kody's favorite. I didn't ask for this. Seemed I just want to be normal again. But now, stripped of his protection taking more steps toward independence. She was focusing on his studies in and separating his identity from Kody's influence. I believed in Brianna. I defended him. Grew outspoken online. I see I was defending a man who doesn't exist firmly against the narrative that her mother or Aurora were to blame. Fans watching for the youngest described the Solomon and Ariella. The woman surrounded by the villain of Sister Wives was finally acknowledging she enrolled them in community activities, Janelle, and Mary determined to give them a sense of normalcy. Kody, but Robyn wasn't just crying. Robyn herself she was making a slowly regaining strength. By the end of taping, with Christine, insiders Janelle, claimed she and privately even Mary offering support. She was ready to finally realize from Kody. She didn't need Kody for the first time. Robyn children's healing became permission. And for the first time since joining the Brown family, it wouldn't just end Kody's polygamous dream without fear. It would erase the last remnants of his so-called kingdom. After weeks of silence, Kody Brown re-emerged with what he called his path to healing. He staged a small press conference outside Coyote Pass, the very land that symbolized his failed dream of unity. Wearing his signature leather jacket and looking gaunt, Kody declared, "I've been misunderstood. My intentions were always pure. I wanted to honor God and my family, but I was betrayed." He announced plans to write a memoir titled The Patriarch's Burden, where he promised to set the record straight. According to insiders, the manuscript painted Kody as a martyr of plural marriage, unfairly attacked by ex-wives, children, and the media. But the public wasn't buying it. Critics slammed the stunt as a desperate cash grab, while fans mocked the title online with hashtags like #BurdenOfKody and #DelusionDiaries. Instead of redemption, Kody's attempt at controlling the narrative only cemented his reputation as a man out of touch with reality. TLC's shocking announcement. Amid the chaos, TLC executives made a move that stunned fans. Instead of canceling Sister Wives, they announced a new season with a rebranded focus. The official press release read, "The Brown family has faced unimaginable challenges, but their story of resilience continues. This season will highlight the voices of Christine, Janelle, Mary, and Robyn as they navigate life after Kody." For the first time in franchise history, Kody was not the center of the narrative. Insiders confirmed he would appear in only a limited capacity, mostly to address his estrangement. The spotlight would shift to the wives and children, the very people he had once tried to control. Fans exploded with excitement. Social media was flooded with comments like, "Finally, a season without Kody's narcissism. Give us the women's story. That's what we care about now." TLC had turned a scandal into opportunity, reshaping the show into something entirely new, a series about women rebuilding their lives after escaping the patriarch. Robyn considers a tell-all of her own. With TLC moving forward and Kody fading into irrelevance, Robyn found herself at a crossroads. For years, she had been branded as the villain, but now she had the chance to rewrite her image. Publishing insiders revealed that Robyn was approached with offers to write her own tell-all memoir. Tentatively titled Breaking My Silence, Life with Kody Brown, the book would chronicle her journey from being the so-called favorite wife to the woman Kody discarded when his obsession with Aurora shattered everything. Friends close to Robyn said she was hesitant at first, fearing public backlash. But as she watched her children heal and received unexpected kindness from Christine and Janelle, she realized her story could help others in toxic relationships. If Robyn went through with it, her book could do more than expose Kody. It could finally allow her to reclaim her voice. And perhaps, for the first time since joining the Brown family, she would no longer be defined by Kody's shadow.